Hi guys, I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but I can never sit still long enough to film anything. I have been working ever since I passed the NCLEX. I passed on a Thursday and by Monday I already had a job. So I have been super busy, but I'm not complaining at all. There is plenty of work for nurses, so everybody who's trying to become a nurse right now is the perfect time. I can tell you, you're going to need to wake up early and study as much as possible. I would wake up around 5:30 in the morning, and I would make sure that I studied from 6 to around 12. So I would basically make a study schedule and be organized and make sure that you know already ahead of time what you're going to be studying for the next day. So if you can plan out the whole month and just like organize the systems that you want to work on which days, that would be awesome. I mean, I can't say that I was that organized, but at least the day before I would lay out the book and I would know what I was going to be working on that day, the next day. So like pharmacology was my weakest subject, so I made sure that I focused on pharmacology first and then worked my way through my weakest subjects. And then at the end, if you have time, you can do those other subjects that you're need to brush up on, but you're okay with, but focus mainly first on those subjects that are your weakest. So I would basically do UWORLD questions first thing in the morning. So from 6 to 8 I was doing UWORLD. I was doing 75 questions. UWORLD was the closest, the most similar to the NCLEX that I could recommend. Believe that there is a program called Archer that some other girls are mentioning that I know is cheaper than UWORLD. So if you can't really afford UWORLD, you can always try Archer. I didn't even know that Archer existed when I was studying for the NCLEX, so I can't really say that I know anything about that program. I just know that they are mentioning it's very similar to UWORLD and it is cheaper. UWORLD I feel like is the most similar to the NCLEX, and it really helped me feel like if I was just going in to take another UWORLD exam. I would do my break at 8 and then I would start up again at 9. So I would do my Prioritization Delegation book for about an hour, and then I would listen to my NLCLEX videos or audios. I would make sure that I was like, I had all my study time out of the way by 12 o'clock, because by 12 o'clock I couldn't focus anymore. Like, forget it. Like, the rest of the day is going on and it gets too busy and I can't study and focus at that time. So I try to get my studying time out of the way first thing in the morning, and I would do my questions first thing in the morning, because that was like the thing that I dreaded the most. Like, I hated doing questions. You actually get used to doing them and it becomes like a habit. So like at the end of like closer to my NCLEX date, I was like excited to actually get up and do my questions in the morning. So you'll get used to it. That's basically the most important part. UWORLD, NLCLEX, Prioritization, and Delegation book. I mean, those are the three things that helped me the most with passing the NCLEX. And of course, review your lab values. Make sure that you organize your days that you are going to study. Like, if you have, like, I wouldn't do like every other day. I would do Monday through Thursday, because it was like more convenient for me to get them all out of the way. It was like I stayed more in focus if I have all my days set up right after the other. If I'm studying one day and then not studying the other day, then for me to get back into like the study mode the next day is like, that didn't work for me. So what worked for me is getting all my study days together, doing Monday through Thursday, and then the days that I know that my husband's off and that I can't focus and study, then I just took those days off. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday I would take off and just go out, enjoy yourself, have your you time, and don't think about studying. So you have to make sure that you have your breaks in between. Like, you can't study every single day, because you will just overwhelm yourself. You will drain yourself out, and then you will like dread studying every morning. You have to give yourself breaks in between to make sure you recover. Like, you have to let your brain recover from all that information. That's like the day before the test, like, don't study at all. Like, if you're gonna study, I would say just like review simple things that you know that you still need to brush up on, that you're not too good with. The things you do want to focus on the actual exam is like prioritization, delegation, management. I definitely did like neglect studying any of the management part, and you will get questions on that. So make sure you do those questions. They have them on UWorld. You know, you do have the subject of management. Do some of those questions because you are going to need them. But before the NCLEX, relax. Try to meditate or pray, or just pamper yourself, take a bubble bath, get a massage, like do your nails, like just feel good about you, okay, that day, and just like let yourself recover. Don't do any questions, because if you do questions, you're just gonna overwhelm yourself. I did that the first time round, and I just overwhelmed myself to the point where I was so drained when I went in to take that NCLEX that I was out of it. And just try to, relax and pamper yourself the day before the NCLEX, and be well rested. Like try to get some good rest before going into that exam. For your actual test day, just make sure you wake up early, you have breakfast. Like the first time I went to take the NCLEX, I could not eat. I was just too nervous. So just try to eat, and if you can't eat, just take some snacks. You will have a locker when you get to the exam. Like you can't take your phone into the exam. If I would just leave it in my car, if anything, because they make you put it in like a Ziploc bag and they take it away from you. And then so they let you put your snacks or whatever in your locker, and you can have those on your breaks. Take your breaks. Like make sure you take your breaks. Take a jacket. Like make sure you take your jacket when you go to take your NCLEX. The first time that I went, it was so cold. I was freezing, hungry. The second time that I went to take it, it was hot as heck. Okay, so just take your jacket just in case, because you never know. It could be cold, it could be hot. And wear pants. I would wear pants because you don't want to be cold in that testing area. Wear makeup if you want, because they're going to take a picture of you. I would wear makeup just to make you feel better, so you could feel more awake and more, like, I don't know what it is with makeup, but it just makes you feel more confident. So you're gonna need that little confidence boost going into that exam. So that is one thing. Like make sure you do deep breathing before you're going into that exam, because I will tell you, the first time that I went to take that exam, I was such a mess, and so like I just needed to do a lot of breathing. Okay, so the second time that I went, I was fine all up until I got there. Once I got there, I just was like, oh my god, I know I'm prepared for this time, but I'm just like super nervous, and I couldn't I just had to take a step back and just take some deep breaths and say, you know what, you studied and you're gonna pass this. The whole time that I was in that exam, I was taking deep breaths. Like you're gonna get some questions that are just gonna be like, what the heck is this? Like I never saw this in any of the NCLEX books. I never heard of this in nursing school. And then you will have some of those questions where you think it's like you already know the answer, but then you read the last question and you're like, well, wait, but it could be this too. Like, and then you're like so confused, and then I just have to take a deep breath and be like, you know what, just pick the best answer that you think it could be. Okay, you're not gonna get every single question right. You can't focus on that. Just answer to the best of your ability, and just stay focused on passing. That's it. Just don't let any negativity creep into your head. Just focus on, you will pass this, and that's it. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like you will pass this. Okay, all right guys, let's get it.